Hey guys, so I decided to do this look for you guys today. It's a bit more of like a glam New Year's Eve party type of look, but it's a little bit more on the simple side. So if you are new to makeup, it's not going to be too hard for you to do, or if you just don't really have the time, it's not going to be a fuss. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get started. Alright, so I want to make sure that my eyeshadow is going to stay on all day, or all night. So I'm going to prime my eyelids with the Lorac Behind the Scenes primer. So the first eyeshadow I'm going to take is from the Lorac Pro 2 palette, and I'm going to take the color called Buff. It's this cream color right in the corner, and I'm going to put that from my lash line all the way up to my brow bone. This is going to help blend out the colors in the crease a bit more. So when I place down the purple, it's not going to stick as much. Alright, so next I'm going to take a domed crease brush and go into my Naked 2 palette and take the purple shade there. It's like a muted purple with a little bit of gray to it. It's called Tease. And put that in my crease. This is just going to be a transition color, but I want this to be most of what you see in the crease. This look is really easy to do. I actually did it in the car on the way to Vegas for my birthday, so I know it's fairly easy to do because the road was kind of bumpy and our driver was not really paying attention half the time. And then with the same crease brush, I'm going to be going back into my Lorac Pro 2 palette and taking the color Charcoal. It's this gray color. I'm just going to dab my brush in there because I don't want to pick up too much product at once, and place that in the crease. And we're going to slowly build the color. I don't want it to be too intense because I want the focus of this look to be the glitter on the lower lash line, so don't want to place too much product at once. So next what I'm going to do is just wipe off that brush, that crease brush that I was using, and then use it to blend the product together. So now that the crease is done, excuse me, I'm going to go into the Naked 2 palette and take this color called Foxy. It's just a matte cream color. It's a little bit more pigmented than the Lorac cream color. I'm just going to place that on my lid. I'm going to pack it on. It's okay if you get a little bit in the crease, it'll blend out pretty easily. And then whatever's left on my brush, just placing it under the brow bone and helping blend down that purple and gray. And then I'm going to take that crease brush once again and then just go around the edges of where my lid meets my crease, just to blend away that cream. So what I'm going to do now is just do my face, and then I will go back and finish my eyes. I'm going to be taking the Cover FX mattifying primer and placing that all in my T-zone. Since there's going to be a lot of pictures, I don't want there to be, I don't want to use like my usual primer, face primer, because it has SPF in it and this doesn't, as far as I'm aware. Because if you're wearing SPF underneath your foundation, it will give like a white cast on your face if you use any flash. So just be aware of that. I mean, obviously, if you don't have a primer, don't feel like you have to go out and buy a primer that doesn't have SPF in it. That's just, I have one, so might as well use it. So for my foundation, I'm going to be taking the Sephora mini powder, or is it mini mineral powder buffing brush, and take the Too Faced Born This Way foundation in the color Sand, and just buff that all over my face. So I just realized that I have this giant dot on my head. It's just from my blinds behind me. I'm going to be doing my concealer next, and I'm going to take the Naked Skin Weightless Complete Cover Concealer in the color Medium Dark Warm. Just put that under my eyes. This isn't a highlighter for me. This is just a concealer. So I'm going to go in afterwards and highlight underneath my eyes just to brighten up. And I'm just using my Beauty Blender Dry, because I found if I use it wet, it gives me more of a dewy effect, and I don't like that because my skin's already really oily. So now that I've blended out my concealer, I'm going to set my under eye. I'm taking the NYX Highlight and Contour Pro Palette, and I'm taking the banana shade right there. You can't really tell because of the lighting, but it's like a banana powder color. I'm just taking a powder face brush, placing that underneath my eyes in that triangle shape. So for my contour, I'm going to be taking this e.l.f. brush. It's like it's meant for contouring. It's a stiff, flat contour brush. And I'm taking my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. I'm putting that in the hollows of my cheek. I just place, kind of wiggle around, place it, and then I go back in and I blend it out. So for blush, I'm going to take my NARS Guy, I don't even know how to say his last name, Borden palette, and I'm going to be taking this peachy pink color right here. It has some gold reflex to it, and put that on my cheeks. I'm not going to go too heavy-handed with it because I don't want too much color on my face. I want it to be more contoured than, I don't know, flushed. So for my winged liner, I didn't want to do something that was super harsh, but I did want something there. So I decided to go with a black eyeshadow instead of an actual cream or gel liner. So I just took the the Naked 2 palette and took the darkest shade, the Blackout shade that's in that palette, and I took it on a angled eyebrow pencil. I like to use this type of brush when I'm doing a powder wing liner. And I'm just going to place this along the lash line. And if you mess up, it's just eyeshadow, so it's a lot more forgiving. I mean, it is a black eyeshadow, so it's not like super forgiving, but it's a lot more forgiving than if you're using a gel or a liquid eyeliner. Now because I have hooded eyes, I'm not going super thick with the liner because I do want some of the lid to still be visible when I have my eyes open. So see how the crease in my eyes isn't like that, like most people, it kind of folds over on itself. So I can't do my liner too thick, otherwise you won't see anything that's on the lid until I blink. And I personally don't like that look. I mean, other people are fine with that, but that's not my personal preference. And then for the wing, I basically just follow the line of my eye I've kind of already mapped out where I want it with the eyeshadow. And I just replace, and I drag down, place, drag down, and then I connect it. For me, this was the easiest way to learn how to do a winged liner without being like too crazy with it and having to redo it a bajillion times, because with it being an angled brush, it was easy to just place it and drag down. With a gel liner or a liquid liner, it was a lot harder for me to learn with those, because you had to place it at the base of your waterline and then pull up rather than pulling down to where you want it. So this is a good alternative for those of you who are just starting out and learning how to do your makeup. It's a lot easier this way, at least in my opinion. That's how it was for me. But again, everyone's different, so you might not like doing it this way. So now that the wing liner is done, we can move on to the lower lash line. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of do what I did in the crease. I'm going to go in with the light, or the muted purple color called Tease from the Naked 2 palette. And then I'm going to go back in with the Lorac Pro 2 palette and take that charcoal color and go right in the outer corner just to deepen up the color a little bit. So now for the fun part, the glitter. You can just leave it at this and put some lashes on and some liner on your waterline and you're out the door ready to go. Or you can continue and put the glitter on and make it a little bit more fun. So what I did was I took a liner brush and I took my e.l.f. glitter glue and just dabbed some of that glue in the back of my hand. And I'm going to place the glue right where I want it. And then I'm going to take a very small or a thin, dense eyeshadow brush and take my Inglot glitter in the color 55 and place that underneath. Once the glue has dried, I'm going to just blend it a little bit so it's not such a harsh line. Now, while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm just going to tight line or put some black liner in my waterline. I'm taking my Urban Decay 24/7 waterproof pencil in the color Perversion and putting that in my waterline. So now that the glitter has dried, I'm just going to take my ring finger, because it applies the least amount of pressure, and just try to blend out that corner or area where it meets the gray, just so it's not as harsh. You can always do just a winged, or take a glitter liner and do it, but I don't have any glitter liners that are this color, so I just took my Inglot glitter and put it on the inner corner. But I don't really feel like I want to put falsies on today, just because it's, you know, the hassle of putting them on and taking them off and whatnot. But I suggest, if you are going out and you do want to put a little bit more into this than putting some falsies on, the Ardell Wispies would be a really good option. They're really fluffy and fluttery, and they add a lot of length to the look, and it's a little bit more drama. But I found that the Urban Decay Perversion mascara holds the curl a little bit better than others, like other non-waterproof mascaras. So I'm just going to do 2 coats of that on my lashes. I love the way that mascara thickens my lashes, and it also adds a little bit of length. So I like to use that on my top lashes. But for my bottom lashes, I don't really care about volume or anything like that. So I'm just going to add a little bit of length to them and just make them a little bit more defined. So I'm going to take the CoverGirl Lash Blast Fusion and just do a single coat. So I just felt like there's something missing from my eyes, so I realized that I didn't put an inner corner highlight. I mean, this is kind of like an inner corner highlight, but I wanted something a little bit more, I don't know, to cover more area. So I'm going to take my Lorac Pro 2 palette and take the color Beige. It's this sparkly shade right here. If you are paler than I am, I would suggest taking this color. It's called Snow, but because I have a tan skin tone, Snow is a little bit too much for my skin tone. I'm just going to place that on the inner corners. And be careful not to mess with the glitter that we already placed down. Just to finish off my face, I'm going to add a little bit of highlighter. I'm going in with like just an angled face brush and taking the Stila highlighter in the color Kitten, just placing that on top of my cheekbones. This is a color dupe for the Jaclyn Hill Champagne Pop, but her highlighter is a lot more glittery and has a lot more pigmentation to it. Like, I have to kind of pack this on to get a good pigmentation, but for me, I like that because I don't want to go overboard with it because I have such oily skin and I don't want to all of a sudden go from being matte face to being just an oil slick without it even being really that oily. Just because I have highlighter on it, it'll look extra specially oily. So since it's New Year's Eve, all of us girls and guys all want those kissable lips. So I've had chapstick on this whole time and I just dabbed it off. I'm going to go in with my Wet n Wild Color Icon lip pencil in the color Plumberry. It's like a dark purpley color, and I'm just going to line my lips with that. I'm just going to darken up the outer corners as well. So now this is the Sephora Rouge in, that's the name, just M dot 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 dot. It's like a muted pinky purple, so it's not too much. It's a cream consistency, so there's no shimmer or anything in it, but it's not matte. It has a little bit of a sheen to it, so it'll help keep your lips hydrated throughout the night, because if you take like a liquid lipstick, generally those are a lot more drying, and obviously you want to be kissing someone at midnight, so you don't want super dry lips. And so this will help keep your lips a little bit more hydrated throughout the night. I'm just going to darken up outer corners. And that's the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you decide to recreate this, tag me in your photos on Instagram or on YouTube. And if you like this, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I'm gonna start putting out more videos every week. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!